Hello and welcome back to Miss Barton's Quarantine Classroom. Today we're doing Math Lesson 3, which is decomposing to add and adding 3 different numbers together. So hang on to your hats, guys. This one's going to be tricky. Now, if you had not watched Math Lesson 1 and Math Lesson 2, I'm going to need you to check those out because they kind of take decomposing to add in one of them and adding 3 digits, and they talk about those separately, and now we're putting the 2 skills together. So this is important that you've seen the other 2 videos first. Okay, so here's my problem that I've got, and you see that I already have my tens and my ones chart made up for me. So it says 24 plus 30 plus 45, and we're going to decompose those numbers and then add them. So when I'm decomposing, I need to think about tens and ones. What number's in the tens place in 24? The 2, that represents 20. That's exactly right. I'm going to go ahead and underline that with my red marker for tens. Boop. Okay, what number is in the tens place in the number 30? What number's in the tens place? The 3, and that represents 3 groups of 10. Excellent work. Okay, what number is in the tens place in 45? The 4, that's correct, and it represents 4 groups of 10, meaning 40. So I'm going to go ahead and underline that one in my red. Oh, excellent work. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write those numbers next to my tens so that I know where they go, and we'll add them in just a moment. Remember that when you're writing these, that they are not just 2, 3, and 4. It's 20, 30, and 40 because they represent groups of 10. So if you just wrote 2, 3, and 4, you would be wrong in the water. You would not be able to get a good grade on this math because it would be totally wrong. It's 24, 30, and 45. So our tens have to represent 20, 30, and 40. Please don't forget that important step. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and check out the ones. So in the number 24, what number is in the ones place? What do you think? Well, it can't be the 2 because we already used up the 2. So it's got to be the 4. The 4 is in the ones place in 24. What number is in the ones place in 30? This one might be kind of tricky. Think. In the ones place, we've got a 0, which means there are no ones. We just got a placeholder 0. I'm still going to underline it so that we know that's the ones place. But you know that when we're adding 0, it doesn't really change anything. And then in 45, what's the ones in 45? Well, there's only 5 ones in 45. Not the we can't use the 4. That represents 40, so we know that the 5 is the part that is the ones. I'm going to go ahead and write those down here. Okay, so you can see how I've written a 4 plus 0 plus 5 so that we can add up the ones column and the tens column separately, and then we will mush them back together. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and add 20 plus 30 plus 40. Alright, well, the easiest way to do that is to not try to do all of it at once, but to take 2 at a time and then add the third one in afterwards. So we'll start with 20 and 30 just because they're first. Does it matter which one I start with? Absolutely not. Because at the end, we're going to have them all 3 added together anyway. That's called the commutative property of addition, where it doesn't matter which way I start as long as I get them all in there eventually. But we're going to start with the 20 and the 30 this time. So what is 20 plus 30? Well, I know that 2 and 3 makes 5. I know that rule. So 20 and 30 has to make 50. Also, if I didn't know that, I could count on. I could start at 20 and add 3 more groups of 10. So I could go 20, 30, 40, 50, add 3 more groups of 10. There's all different ways you can add them. Okay, but now that we've got our 50, we've used the 20 and the 30. We still have to add the 40 in there. So we're going to count on for this one. We'll start at 50 and we're going to add 4 more. Please hush. And we're going to add 4 more groups of 10. Okay. So let's start at 50. Ready? We're going to add 4 more groups of 10. So 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So 50 plus 40 equals 90 in the same way that 5 plus 4 equals 9. It's the same idea, except this time we're adding groups of 10, not just groups of 1, which is why we have to have it in the tens place here. Frenchy schmanchy learning. Okay, now let's jump on down to our ones. Herc, stop crying. You're being bothersome, and I don't appreciate it. Do you hear him over here just yawning and acting so foolish? Can't stand it. Okay, 4 plus 0. What is 4 plus 0? That's just going to be 4, because 0 doesn't count for anything, does it? No, it does not. Okay, now we're not finished, though. We still have to add this 5. Let's add 4 plus 5 more. So if I have 4, and then I add another group of 5, let me think. Well, I know that 4 plus 4 is 8. And I know that 5 plus 5 is 10. So if 4 plus 4 is 8, and 5 plus 5 is 10, this has to be 9. 4 plus 5 equals 9. Okay, but I'm finished, right? No, not at all. Not even close. Not finished yet, because we still have to put this number over here together so that we can have a final answer. If you turn this in, Miss Barton would say, where's your answer? I'm not understanding your answer. Okay, so what I've got to do is I've got to think about which number goes in the tens place and which number goes in the ones place. So in the tens place, we have to represent 90, and in the ones place, we have to represent 9. I'm going to draw myself 2 little boxes. And they are kind of little because this whiteboard is small. And I've got to think about the number that's in the tens place, 90. So I'm going to put the first 9 here to represent 90. And then I've got to think about the number that's in the ones place, 9. And I'm going to write that number here in the ones place box in 9. And so that's how I solved my problem and got the answer for 99. Okay, thank you for watching this video about decomposing to adding 3 digits, and 2-digit addition. This was quite a wild ride, but I'm so glad that you stuck around and listened. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you guys later.